So we're reaching the end of May. It's probably June by the time you're seeing this video, and I wanted to give a brief recap of what's happening these past couple months in the real estate world. Historically, Sarasota was very seasonal in our real estate cycle on an annual basis. In fact, right after people left, shortly after Easter, we would see a very long lull during the entire summer, where we would have a few sales, but not really many. And I will say, now that we're approaching summer, being that we're at the end of May filming this video, beginning of June, I don't think we're going to have a very slow summer at all. In fact, I have multiple clients that are coming in town who are either just starting their search but intend on buying before this upcoming season, or they've been looking for property and we've identified that they're going to be making a purchase this summer. So I do expect the number of transactions to actually be higher this year than last year. And if we just look at the 90-day trend, we have seen that the market activity, which would compare the amount of properties coming on the market versus the properties coming off the market, has increased, which does show that there's more homes selling than coming on the market for both downtown and Longboat Key, which are the main areas that I focus on from a data standpoint. So that's great to see. One other thing that we're seeing, though, that is really important, I think, for those that are considering selling, is that we are seeing about 42% of the homes that are listed actually have to reduce their prices before they go under contract. 42% is substantial. But with that, the dollar per square foot for both condos and single-family homes has really plateaued. So what that tells us is that people were overreaching when they originally listed. They had to keep reducing the price until they got to where the market is based on comparable sales, and then they went under contract. So because the price per square foot hasn't dropped, which means the actual sales price comparing over the past months, even since April of last year, hasn't dropped substantially. We did over that period of time see that between 8 and 12% correction, but that's really teetered off the past 90 days. It's really plateaued. So that's a good sign, but it is a lesson for sellers to know that overstretching the price is the kiss of death, and it's going to take longer to sell your property, and it can oftentimes affect the final sales price. If you started out at the right price and then went under contract shortly thereafter, that's a much better strategy than kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks. So the time period that it takes to go under contract and sell has increased since April of last year, where we were seeing properties take only 4 days or maybe a week if they were slowing down the process. But on average, we're looking at 45 to 50 days for condominiums and single family homes, which really isn't that long. So if you're a buyer that's looking and you're not actually in Sarasota, it does give you time to fly down and inspect the property and decide if you want to make an offer. But it also needs to set an expectation for sellers that after that 45-day period, 50 days maybe, if you don't have an offer in hand, there needs to be some type of reevaluation done. Mortgage rates are really high. If you're lucky, you get under 8, but really it's 8 and above. That definitely deters a lot of people from purchasing, not necessarily in downtown Longboat Key or those surrounding areas, because majority of our transactions are cash. But it does affect people's affordability, especially those that are first-time home buyers or those that are actually getting a mortgage. So I think it makes people reevaluate what are they willing to compromise on if they absolutely want to purchase a home, or are they willing to stretch themselves a little bit more to go outside of their comfort zone. So that is something that I will say our family considers as we evaluate our needs and needs for maybe a single family home. Like, is now the right time, or do we want to just go ahead and make that purchase despite rates being where they are? So definitely things to consider whether you're looking to buy or you're looking to sell, understanding who is the person that will be buying your home and what are the considerations that they're going to have. I will say most of the clients I'm working with who are purchasing property, they have a much higher standard for how the condition of that property should be, as well as how well that property has been maintained. They are asking for service records from the seller. They're asking for all the vendors to really understand what are going to be the improvements that they need to make. So I think it's very important to have all of that information collected ahead of time so you can just provide it to that buyer right up front. It will definitely secure the sale much better. So those are my thoughts on where we're at in the market. If you have any questions or want to discuss what would be the best strategy for both buying a property and selling your home, as well as what is the market value for your home, please reach out to me anytime. Thanks so much for tuning in.